Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop for this Friday afternoon episode. Bob TV, baby. Alright guys, the mold is finished. I know I didn't make a lot of videos yesterday, but it was just the same stuff as the first video. That's the other side of me and Wes was going, man. I'll tell you what. That is 6 hours of hard, non-stop work on this big old mold right here. 6 hours, both of us just going just as fast and as hard as we can. But this is a little extreme size mold. Y'all's little molds won't take so long. Now I got to trim my edges. I put me a new blade on here. Last time I was using it, it got a little dull on us. It's got pretty good now. Get the old bottle glasses, and we're going to go to town. Bam. Okay, now I just do that all the way around. Then we'll come back and sand the edges. I like these edges to be pretty smooth. I like them. See where it slows down cutting? It's kind of cutting through both layers. When you're going fast, you're just going through one. And out here on the edges, as far as thickness goes, if you ain't going to put this in the oven, 1/4 inch is fine. See, it's 1/4 inch here, but they start tapering off. We don't have quite as much glass way out here as we do like up here. So it's probably more like 3/8 of an inch up there, including my surface coat. And that's plenty. That's a nice, good mold right there. Then I'm going to, after I get it all sanded, I'm going to put it aside over there. I'm going to put the electric blanket on there. We're going to let it cure out. Okay, then I want to come back here and I'm going to drill my holes. Okay, for my bolts. And then we'll pop them apart. I think we're going to do it like Saturday evening or Sunday. But we need to get it under some blankets. If it was warm enough today, I'd set it outside. But and blankets get it up to about 120 degrees. Both of them. Doubled. You get double one, then double the other one. They'll get it up to 100 degrees. And that'll be fine for a couple of days. And let it cure out. You know, once it's cured, there won't be no more moving of the molecules, you know. So we want that thing to set before we pull it out. You know, and like right now, it really wouldn't. You could pull it off now, but if it warmed up, you know, you might have issues with it going back together right. So we're just going to let it cure out and not rush the issue. But if anyone has any questions on this molding, feel free to give me a holler. I'll even give you my phone number. I'll talk you through some of this stuff. But basically, This is the order it went. Wax first. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Can never use too much wax. Clean out the panel lights. Tiny screwdriver. Clean them out. Buff it all down again. Make sure you ain't got no crud on it. Tack it off with a tack rag. Spray your part off. Light mist coats. I really found it really helps to add a little bit of water with your Pardol. It breaks it down into smaller spray. The finer you can get that spray, the better you are. You know, when you go shh, you should see little tiny dots. The smaller the dots, the better. Several coats, 3 or 4 coats, just like that. Just mist coat it. At the end, you can mist it a little heavier, but you never want to get a running coat, a wet coat like if you're painting. Never want to go that far. I found when after about 3 coats, you put 1 coat on there, and you just don't let it quite dry all the way, and hit it with another. Just same mist coat, but maybe just hit it twice, instead of just once. Just enough to get the whole surface kind of wet. Not runny wet, not glossy, shiny wet, and then when it dries, it all goes together. Okay? Then, I put my surface coat on. 2 coats, just as thin as you can get it. Do not build it up in the corners. Don't build it up anywhere. Just a nice, thin, even coat. Then you start with your 3/4 ounce, just in these corners. Okay, you don't have to get all this area with 3/4 ounce, just any of your corners. These corners especially. You really gotta watch to make sure you ain't got no air bubbles. And I cut them strips of glass pretty small. A 4x3 pieces work just great. Some a little bit smaller to go around these corners. I even had them as small as 1x1. I just used my pizza cutter and put 3 or 4 layers of glass down and cut up a bunch of little pieces. Okay, then after you get all the way around your edges, any corner you have, with 3/4 ounce, then you go with the 6 ounce. And you do the same thing. You want to get at least 3 layers. 4 is cool. And then you can coat the whole fuselage. There I still used little pieces. They was bigger though. But the bigger the area, the bigger the piece. I still had 1x1, 1" by 1" pieces in them little corners, Then around these edges, 4x4 pieces. Then we got out to the middle of the plane. And I started cutting 10x12 pieces, Okay, we've got 3 layers of 6 ounce on there. Then we started into 10 ounce. Okay, same thing. Little pieces in the corners. And, 3 layers thick everywhere over the whole plane. Okay, then the 24 ounce, I just cut in 2-foot sections. This was a piece I cut 25 inches and laid it on here like this. Another 25-inch piece over there like that, leaving it doubled here and here. So them 2 strips is actually 4 layers thick. And we found it really helps when you're putting that 24 ounce on to really coat your resin on first. Really coat it heavy. And put your 24 ounce on there and then work it out with your hands. You'll have less air bubbles. And when you're starting out on these little pieces, you got to spread your resin first because your surface coat is sticky. And if you don't spread your resin first, your glass grabs and you'll end up with air bubbles right there. And air bubbles is what you want to get away from. So spread your resin first and lay your glass into it. You'll be a lot better off. And I think it's going to be nice enough to go fly the Tomcat tomorrow. Wee-hoo, we're hoping. We're hoping. So maybe we can get that beast in the air and get this thing all trimmed up, get this shop all cleaned up. It's trashed, man. But I'm going to work on it. We'll see you back in the shop. St. Bob Town.